Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sunday stream. Today is November the 15th, 2020, and I'm going to be looking over some of the market names, going through the watch lists, taking a look at futures, and taking a look at some of the earnings that are coming up next week, beginning Monday. Some key names that I'll be looking at. And some targets of where support and resistance zones are with respect to those names. Okay, I'm just gonna dig right in. And as you see, this is a chart of SPX futures. And we opened up bullish, right? This is on the 15-minute time frame. I'm just gonna pop down to the 5-minute time frame so you can see. We closed off on Friday at 35.85, which was right at support or resistance, if you can call it. We closed off Friday pretty strong. That's what you want to see as one of the indicators going into the next day. It doesn't necessarily mean that the next day will be bullish, but these are little clues that, as like a detective, you put together in order to scalp your game plan and what you're trying to do the next day. So right now, we're back above 3,600. This is the first time we're up there since pretty much last week on the 9th of November, where we had that bullish day and the markets jumped up based on the vaccine news. And as you know, we had a monster day last week. I don't know if it's shaping up to be the same thing, but right now we're above 3,600. I'm gonna pop over to the SPX chart to give you an idea where some key levels might be that I'm looking at. And I'm gonna head over to the 15-minute chart to draw some levels right here. Actually, let's go down to the 1-hour chart. Okay, as you can see, we had a high of 36.45 on that bullish week to start off the week, I should say. So we're going to start off with resistance at the very top, down to this candle wick up here. Another one right here. Right here. And right here. Okay, so going into Monday on the hot top side, the bullish side, I'm looking at a break over 35.88, 3,600 as psychological resistance, 36.11. You can say 36.11 to 36.15. Keep in mind, these are not, cookie cutter numbers. They fluctuate, give or take a few dollars. 36.27, 36.25, you could say, 36.35, and at the very top, 36.46. To the downside, I'm looking at a break below 35.65 to find support at 35.50. We have a gap fill at 35.35 that is very possible that we do fill it, but my key indicator would be breaking 35.65 and retesting 35.49. If that can hold, that could tell me that we're going up higher. If we see continued weakness around that 35.49, if there's no bounce on that range, we're pretty much going down to fill this gap. It's not always the case that we do fill the gap. Sometimes we do fill the gap overnight, futures before the market opens. It touches it and wicks down and heads back up before the market opens. But just keep that in mind that we have a gap at 35.35. Okay, so I'm going to head into the watch list. I'm not going to go through every single name because some names are range bound and not much action. So I'm going to go through the key names and try to keep this stream as short as possible. That way everyone can go through it and not, be discouraged that it's 1 hour long. So I'll start up with Apple. AAPL is a ticker. Okay, I'm going to head over to the 4-hour chart to get further clarity on where we're at. And again, not much change with Apple. We have overhead resistance at 119.50. We touched 122 briefly last week, and we shot right back down at 114 support. Going into Monday, I'm looking at a break above 120.50. I'm going to draw a line right here. So above 120.50, I'm looking at 122 as a potential first take profit area. If you do not want to get in at 120.50, safer entry would be at 122, shooting for 123 take profit area. Or you could say to yourself, all right, I'm going to get in at 122 at one contract. Now we're trading options here. So one contract at 122 on the break of that, increase my position if 123.50 were to break. Now I say 123.50 because I like to get a little more clarity, not just because it, broke 123. I want to see consolidation above that level, along with volume and market conditions to give me a good indicator that the stock is pushing past that. So at 123 on the break of that, you could increase your position to 2 contracts, and for 125 would be the ultimate take profit and to close my complete position. So that's how I trade. I don't go in all at once, 4, 5, 6 contracts. I slowly ease in. So that's one scenario to look at to the upside. To the downside, 117.50 is a key level for me. Break of that, I'm looking at support at 116. If we get continued weakness in the market for whatever news, 114 shorting opportunity is a high possibility. Okay, so this is Apple on the 4-hour chart. Keep in mind, guys, group members will have access to these charts saved for them, and they can look back to see, where the current price action is and where to take profits and where support is. So it's a good reference guide. Okay. Next name, NVIDIA, NVDA. NVIDIA has earnings this week coming up, so I've been watching it closely. We had a high out of NVIDIA at $600, and we popped right back down to 507. Currently, we're at a stage where, we've been playing around from 510 to 548 for a while now. Going into Monday, I'm looking at a first confirmation of 535 to be broken for a potential profit take at 544. A safer entry for me personally, I would like to see 552 break, just because, we've been in this little tight range here, and a fake out is highly possible. So in order just to clear all this price action, I would say above 552 would be a solid option. You ride that all the way to 560, increase your position sizing for a 565 take profit, right? Or you could say to yourself, all right, I enter at 552 above that level, push all the way to 565 and increase your position sizing here for a potential 578 take profit area. Now with earnings, a lot of stocks tend to push up the week of earnings. So look at Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday for the stock to potentially make a rally into earnings, and at earnings, dump. That's one scenario. Or there could be another scenario where we have a down day, 2-3 down days, and on earnings, it pushes right back up, potentially goes back to all-time highs, touches that. So, you know, it's a tricky one. So let's wait to see what Monday shows us. But the levels, like I said, safer entry 552. Now to the downside, a break of 525 for a 519 take profit area is possible. You got to be really quick with these entries and exits on this stock. When I say 530, the break of 530 or 525, these are 5-10 minute scalp plays at best. So you got to be really quick and take those profits when it hits those levels, because this stock tends to reverse quite a bit. You know, we had a scenario here where we were at 510 and it looked like it was going to break 500 and go down. We had a long wick here. You know, buyers stepped in. Sellers tried to push it right back down. Again, buyers stepped in at the 510 mark. A doji candle here. This represents a reversal. The next day, on the 11th of November, we ended up gapping up, retested 552, where we had it right here back on the 9th of November, right here back on the 4th of November. So 552, like I said, is a safer entry. So look for 552 to break. And to the downside, you know, 510 is a major key support level on NVIDIA. Okay, so that's NVIDIA on the 4-hour time frame. Next name, Tesla, ticker TSLA. Okay, Tesla has been range bound for a long time here. And you guys know the key levels that I'm always looking at. And it's 464 is my main key level that I want to break. If we do not break that level, we're going to be range bound anywhere from 445 all the way to 388 at the very lowest. You know, we closed Monday at 408. 405 is key support for me, and 400. So a break below 400, I'm looking at a short to 388. We held it here for support. Wick down to 380. So keep those levels in mind. Below 400, 388 is a very high possibility. Just like with NVIDIA, when you are shorting, keep in mind that not every level is going to be perfect. You know, we might break 400 and, as you can see here, wick down to 395. So keep your eyes on the market conditions. Keep your eyes on volume, where buyers step in. You know, they stepped in here. You can see 388, 380 is a key level. You know, 400 is a key level, 405. A lot of price action here, a breakout over here. So to the downside, under 400, possible target 388 for a take profit. To the upside, I personally would like to see 426 break for a 436 take profit area. You can also say to yourself on 426, the break of that, one contract entry. If 436 breaks with convincing volume, second contract entry for a 444 take profit, close your position, or if we're really bullish, 452. You got to be very patient with Tesla. Likes to play a lot of games. So if you are entering options contracts, you know, go for that 2-week, 3-week option just to buy yourself some more time. Also, volatility kills you with your options on the 1 week, so keep that in mind. Okay, that is Tesla. Next name, Netflix, NFLX ticker. Okay. This is Netflix on the 4-hour chart. Netflix for me, key levels above 500. Why? You know, we had a lot of price action here, as you can see, up, down, up, down. I just like to avoid all this, right? A safer entry over 500, potential take profit 508, 512. Usually when 512 is broken, we're going to see a push all the way to 522, just like how we had here. Then a monster sell down here, push us all the way back to 466. Currently, we're at 482, so that's pretty good support. You know, we had it here on the 2nd of November. We had it here around October 22nd, and we've also had it here. You know, we bounced off right here. As you can see, buyers stepped in, and then we're off to the races. And this was back on September the 28th. So this level is pretty good support. Entry above 500. On the downside, if we open up tomorrow on weakness, I would look at 474 as a key level. Shorting opportunity to 466 is highly possible. Okay. And, you know, we've had weakness ever since, you know, we had earnings, and it's been range bound around the 488 level. We made a little small appearance back to 522, and we dropped back down. And again, we are around that area we were here back on October 21st. So breakout 500 would be something of interest to me. Heading over to the next name, I'm going to take a look at Zoom. ZM is the ticker. Zoom pushed down recently based on the news that, you know, there was a vaccine. People were going to start traveling, going to work. This is one of those names, you know, quotes, stay-at-home stocks, along with Netflix, along with PTON. So a lot of hype pushed this stock basically all the way to 600. And, you know, so keep your eyes on the vaccine news, keep your eyes on the economy in terms of if schools are going to be shut down, if, you know, dates are being rolled back where you can't, you know, go to the malls or go to the restaurants, or there's restrictions. When you hear stuff like that, this stock tends to pop up on that news because it's like one of those stay-at-home stocks. So some key levels for me. To the downside, it looks like we're building this staircase pattern down, you know. So below 400, I'm looking at, you know, a touch at 374. We had it back here on the 10th. So a break of that, I'm looking at support at 374. You know, a good shorting opportunity if the market's open on weakness would be on Zoom. So keep your eyes on Zoom below 400. 374 is highly plausible for a shorting opportunity. Then I would look to see if this holds for a bounce to go back up and retest 425. And if it doesn't, we're looking at 365 and 341 as the next key levels for support. If we do hold 400, I would look to see if 415 is broken as my first confirmation for an entry for a scalp to the 425 level. If volume is strong, market conditions are strong, you know, there's a news catalyst, an analyst upgrade, I would look for 444 to be retested once again. I'm going to draw another line here of resistance, and that's at 435. So my entry point would be over 415 for a scalp to 425. I would increase my position based on the market conditions at 425 for a take profit at 435. I wouldn't take profits instantly. I would like to see how the stock reacts around this level to see if we get rejected. If there is rejection, 1, 2 candlesticks, it could be on the 1 hour time frame. You know, if you're trading on the 15-minute time frame, look for rejections for early clues, and I would close my position, right? If the volume is strong and, you know, there's a catalyst, I would look to hold on to my position for a final take profit of 442. So that is Zoom and my outlook on Zoom. Another one I'm going to look at, PTON, PTON. Peloton, again, one of those stay-at-home stocks. Had earnings, pushed all the way down to the 94 level. Huge wick down here. Buyers entered, holding this level, pushed all the way to 109. Again, a big drop, held that level once again. Buyers like this level. So, you know, if you're looking at it, you know, we held it here on the 9th. We held it here on the 10th of November. We have some price action here back on September the 29th, right here on the 23rd of September and September 11th. So this 109 and 94 levels are key support areas. So if I was opening up on Monday and I see weakness, I could potentially enter a scalp below 100 for a 94 take profit. I would then watch to see if buyers step in, similar to this scenario right here. If they do, it would be a good entry at the 94 level, or a safer entry would be if we push back down here, hold 94. On the break of 100, I would look to enter. 105, 106 would be my take profit, or increase my position for a take profit of 109 and 110.50. I had a similar trade on this in one of the market recap posts that I had on Instagram. This level, I'm going to be keeping an eye on 110.50. On the break of that, 114 is another key level. So if I were to look to enter based on these key levels, and if the market opened up at 195 cents, I would look for 106 to break. I need 106 to break for me to feel comfortable for a 109 scalp and 110 scalp. If you're a very conservative trader and you want to trade safely, I would look at 110.50 to break for a potential scalp to 114. Okay, so that is Peloton on the 4-hour time frame. Next name, Baba, Alibaba. BABA is the ticker. Baba, you know, had a down week. Again, being range bound. This stock didn't move much. That 268 level, 270 was difficult to break. I'm going to draw resistance at the 272. We couldn't break it here on the 11th November. On the 12th, again, pushed back down, dropped down to support at 258. We had support on the 10th and the 13th. So going into Monday, I would look to see if 258 holds. If 258 holds, I would look to see my first confirmation of 268 to break. If 268 breaks, you can potentially enter a scalp trade to 272. But in all honesty, a safer entry would be a break of 272.50, because if that doesn't break, it pretty much guarantees that we're in this consolidation phase where we bounce around into this, you know, small range. And as options traders, you know, we don't want that. It just kills our premium, kills time. So do yourself a favor, look for 272.50 to break for a potential profit at 284. There's going to be some stops along the way, right? So I would look to see 280 would be a potential stop, right? Right, this wick right here, touched it here and here back on September the 29th. So this 280 level is key for me. So if 272.50 breaks, I would look to enter there and to take profit at 279, 280 range. I would like to see how the stock reacts. You know, this has been key support at the time. So now it is resistance. So what was support before now it has turned resistance. So I would look to see if this breaks and potentially increase my position. If not, like I said, 250, 270, 250 for a 280 profit. Okay, to the downside, 258. If that doesn't hold, 252 and 247 are potential profit areas on BABA. And by the looks of it, you know, we're in a downtrend and it could potentially go back down there and touch those levels where we touched them back on August, right? So we are in this little range right here. And if that breaks 258, 252 would be a nice shorting opportunity. Okay, I am gonna skip some other names that don't have much action, but I'm gonna look at NIO. NIO is one of the names that I'm looking at for earnings. Big time euphoria on the stock. It is one of the EV names that has been pumping along with LI, along with, I believe, XPeng, XPENG, and Solo. Huge craze for the electronic vehicles. So this is one of them. I don't trade this name much. So I will be drawing support and resistance zones with you guys right now. So this is on the 4-hour time frame. We got resistance at 55, 51 support, 47, 45, 43, 40, 38, 36, 32, 29, 25. Okay, so these are the key areas that I'm going to be looking at. So the past few weeks, specifically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the stock really pushed high and fast, potential 10, 20, 30% gains on some of these EV names, and NIO was one of them. It pushed all the way to $55. Midway Friday afternoon, analysts came out with a target of $25. That caused a major sell-off from 55 all the way to down to 40. And if you count the percentage gains, when we pushed up to 55 and dropped down to 40, it was close to 20% drop from the highs. So going into Monday and keeping in mind that these stocks, or let's just say NIO, will pump up, and it has, heading into earnings. Now, for me, this could be an indicator that this analyst decided to have a downgrade target of $25. It could be a clue that during earnings, we are going to push down. So that's a clue for me. Another clue for me would be, hey, this analyst downgraded this stock because he has clients that want to get in at a lower price for a potential push into earnings again, or they know that earnings will explode and potentially go to $60 or $70. So there's two scenarios here. One clue is that the stock is overvalued, and the analyst has basically given you a heads up, right? 2, he potentially wants to push the stock down because he has clients that want to get in at cheaper rate and not chase all-time highs for a potential push at earnings and past earnings. So keep that in mind. We closed at 40. Let's just say here, we closed at 44.56 on Friday. I'm looking at the $43 level. If this were to break, I'm looking at a retest of $40.50, which was this, buyer stepping in right here for a nice 7-8% bounce. But the trend is your friend. We had a blow off top at $54. So holding 43 is key. If that were to break, shorting opportunity to $40.27 is highly possible. I would look to see how the stock reacts around this level. If there's a bounce, I would look to see if 43 is broken for a potential entry for a scalp trade to 45 or $47. So to the downside, 43, keep that in mind. 40 and 38 are key levels to the downside. To the upside, I'm looking at 47 to break. If 47 breaks, we're potentially going to touch back to $52. And you could say to yourself, if volume is strong at $52, I would increase my position for a retest of all-time highs at $54. Okay, so that is NIO. Another one, so we have 3 names that I'm looking at: NIO for earnings, NVDA for earnings, and one last one, Target TGT. I don't normally trade this name, so as you can see, I don't have any support and resistance zones drawn out on Thinkorswim. So we're going to do this one together. Okay, all-time highs, resistance 167. Okay, 164 at the top of this candle. $162. $160. $156, $155. Top of this. Couldn't break it here. Couldn't break it here. Retested and broken. Held it here. Held it here. This is a big one. 156. Right here. Retested. Went back up. Here. Retested. Went back up. Tried to break it here. Rejected. Tried to break it here. Rejected. Tried to break it here. Rejected. Finally pushed. So this is a key level. Old resistance. Now support if we were to drop. Big one right here. 142. 145. Okay. So heading into Monday, I'm looking at this chart, and to me, it's pretty bullish. Huge push up right here. Retested this candle wick right here back on August the 18th, all the way to all-time highs. We're creating this pattern to potentially retest 167.50, and earnings is a perfect catalyst to do this. As you know, Target, Walmart, names like this, really important during this pandemic. So I could potentially see this hitting back to all-time highs. But as traders, we don't care what all-time highs is. We're just looking for the swings. And heading into Monday, I'm looking at 164, 165 to break. If 164, 165 to break, I'm looking at 167 for a take profit. I won't take profit instantly at 167 because we are at all-time highs. I do expect a rejection at 167 and a push back down to 164 to retest. Yes. So you could take profit of at over 164, 165 for a potential 167 profit, right? Or you can say to yourself, I'm going to wait to see how it reacts here. If volume is strong, market conditions are strong, you know, people are buying the stock heading into earnings, I'll be looking at to hold this for potential push up. Or if you're scalping, the break of 164, 167 and a half takes, hits here, take profits, let the stock do its thing, potentially go back to 164. If it retests 164 and it holds, we are going back up to hit 167 to potentially go to all-time highs. Again, 164 and a half, 167 take profit, let the stock do its thing, potential push down to retest, then re-enter again over 167. The more times we hit this level, the weaker that it gets. However, the first time it tries to hit it is the best time for it to break. So as you can see here, we had price action here, almost hit it, push back down, got rejected at this line again, here, again. This is on October the 19th, the 20th, So this is something that you're going to be looking at over here. So watch this area right here. To the downside, I'm looking at 162.50 for a potential push down to 160. I don't like to enter at 162 short. I would like to see if 160 were to break. That's more important to me for a potential 155 take profit area. Now, along the way, this short is not going to be perfect. Keep in mind, there's a lot of price action. This is one of those stocks that just doesn't jump high percentages. It likes to play, seesaw games. So if you are shorting at 160 and, it comes down to 158 and it stops here, close the trade and take your profits. Shorting is never easy and shorting is never perfect. So take your profits here. See if 158 were to hold. If it doesn't, you can always re-enter and get the push down to 155. Okay, so that is target on the 4-hour time frame, and that's pretty much all the names that I want to discuss. So keep an eye out for earnings on Target, on NIO, and on NVDA. As you guys know, NVIDIA is one of my favorite stocks. So I'll be watching all three of those names and keeping an eye on the market to see how everything unfolds heading into Monday. One last look at futures, and it looks nice. We're still above 3,600. All right, guys. So that's it for Sunday's stream. Good luck. Stay patient. Be picky with your entries. Cut losses. When you're wrong, you're wrong. Size down. Don't enter 3 or 4 contracts right off the bat. Understand what kind of account you have. If you have a large account, a small account. With a small account, be very picky with your entries and exits. The key is to build your small account. And when you do have one of those small accounts, man, you just got to be on point. You got to take smart trades, high opportunity, low risk trades. And, as I mentioned, I increase my position sizing based on key levels break. I would never enter 4 contracts on my first trade. Never. The key is risk management, and you're basically throwing out risk management out the window when you enter like that. Guard your capital, make smart plays, and I look forward to speaking with you guys tomorrow. All right, that's it. Thank you guys. Bye.